Okay, so here we have the roller shade. These are battery operated, purchased from You Just Blinds. And you can see there's the attachment there of the sound free. There is no reset button except for this button as I turn the shade. So you see the antenna. You already see some fraying. I can't believe that's happening. I don't know why. Hopefully you can see that. But the only thing I can say is that this should be the reset button. Let me untangle this. Right there, the button below where the cords are, and as you can see there's an indentation there. That doesn't move at all. So when this is set up, put up in there, and the connections are hooked together with the battery operated plug, that reset doesn't move, because that should, when the cords are hooked up and that the battery's installed on the shade, there should be a jog. There is no jog. So this reset button, so I'm trying to handle that, but the shade turns, does not work. So I know that they show a reset button like in this region right here where the cords are, but there is nothing in there but the cords. And they use a paper clip to illustrate that. So that must be the button right there for the reset or returning it back to factory. So please acknowledge that you received this, and where we need to go from there, I'm going to run another video when I hook it up. Thanks. Okay, we have part 2 on this, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And I can't juggle both, but I went ahead and plugged in both, and you can see that the shade did move one time. Okay. Actually, it did a second jog for some reason. So I don't understand why it did that, but there was a delay in that. So after the jog, I went ahead and hit the up and down button at the same time, and there was no movement of the shade whatsoever. So this is the problem, because if I just press on down, nothing works. If I press on up, nothing works, and hopefully you can hear that clicking. But you can see the shade is hooked up for, for visualization. I have the antenna exposed, and I have this plugged in. And of course, the back of the, where the pin, the reset button, I haven't done anything because nothing is being programmed. So I just went ahead and did that. I'm going to unplug this shade. So this is one of the shades. And there's 3 that operate off of this particular remote. This is in the dining room. Okay. So I went ahead and unplugged that one shade. And here we have a bigger shade that I'm doing. And I just plugged it in. It did jog once, and it just jogged again for a second time. So again, I'm going to go ahead and try programming this by hitting the up and down button on the remote at the same time and see if that programs it. So I held down the up and low button at the same time, and there was no reaction. So now I'm going to go ahead and reset the remote. So I have both shades plugged in. This one, which is 22 inches by 78. And this one is 48, I believe, by 78 as well. They're all the same length, just different widths. And so what I did is I tried to hold in the remote and do the reset, because on some videos what it shows, if I push on the reset and hold it down, I should get a jog of the roller shade a couple times, but I'm trying that now and there is nothing happening. So holding in the remote on the reset button, for about 30 seconds, did not do anything. There was no jog. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press on this right here, and hopefully you can see that. There's the button there. I'm going to press in on that, and I'm holding it in. Supposedly there should have been a jog there with this reset button on there, but there's really no movement when we press on this button. So I'm wondering if that's something default. There is a default in this whole system. Because again, there is no place, from my knowledge, of where to put the safety pin, or not the safety pin, but the paper clip in and reset that. So that was pushed for good 20, 30 seconds. Nothing happened there. And now I'm going to go to the other one and do the same thing just to confirm that. So I'm again pressing on that button, and we should see something with the shade. And there is really nothing happen as they're supposed to be according to the videos. So there is no reset happening whatsoever. So I don't know what to tell you, if this has been a defaulty system or what, or if this was ever gone through any kind of quality control where they actually proved that this roller shade worked prior to them shipping it out. So what I just try to do, I just try to use in this video, reset sound-free motor and remote factory seconds. While they were both plugged in, I unplugged for 3 seconds and then plugged it back in for 10 seconds and then unplugged for 3 seconds and again, replugged. There was no jog at all. So nothing's being reset to factory settings whatsoever. Even when I hold the reset button in on the back of the remote, there is no jog of the shades whatsoever. So final note, if I unplug the wires to the charger and give it some time and then I replug it in, I'll get 2 jogs of the shade. And when I get the 2 jogs of the shade, I then just press the up and down button at the same time, and there is no control of the shades. I then use the alternative of holding in the reset button to get the shades to jog, and that does not occur as well. So need some guidance because very frustrated and tried everything possible. Thanks.